Cello. I'm gonna try that again. Cello. Cello. But yeah, what are we doing today? Great question, person that's clearly asking. We are doing some Am I the Asshole? Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Am I the asshole for changing seats on a flight to get away from my mom and finding another place to stay? Nar. My mom, older sister, 20-year-old female, and her boyfriend, 21-year-old male, younger sister, 15-year-old female, and mom's boyfriend, and I. It's funny to me that she didn't state her mom or her mom's boyfriend's ages. And I, 19-year-old female. Oh, she's only 19. Just got back from a 3-week trip to visit family. I hate these trips, but my mom says that either I go with the rest of the family or start paying rent. So I had to go. I guess that's fair for her to say. She lives on Earth. Either you come on the family vacations or pay rent. Okay, the flight there was pretty okay. I sat 2 rows away from the rest of the family. You'll see why this is important later. I was sitting next to mom with a 1- and 2-year-old, but they were nice. Didn't bother me, and the kids were well behaved and didn't cry. Okay. The mom insisted on all of us staying with her mom. So your grandmother. Hold on. My mom insisted all of us staying with her mom. Why not just say your grandmother? Are you not related? Her mom lives in a small 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with a married couple. It was going to be 9 people in 1 bathroom.
Why are we still here?
And IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, runs in the family. So sharing that 1 bathroom is horrendous. Okay, yeah, okay. They're not doing this because they can't afford a hotel. They're just cheap. After 2 nights of sharing an air mattress with both my sisters, being woken up to grandma doing laundry and watching TV at 5 a.m., and constantly almost pissing myself because the bathroom is never free, I got myself a hotel and left when my mom and her boyfriend were out. My mom was pissed, but dad took care of her. I still saw her all the time, but I just wasn't putting myself through staying with my grandma. Then on the flight home, I was supposed to sit right in front of mom, her boyfriend, and my younger sister, and behind my older sister and her boyfriend. Let me just say, my family are the worst people to travel with. My mom's boyfriend was watching his far-right podcasts with no headphones and on full volume. I was able to hear them over the plane. My mom likes to annoy people until they reach their breaking point. She will bother you until you cry out of frustration, then start laughing at you like she... What? And then start laughing at you, and she likes to honk the horn when you're standing right outside of the car. Oh, honk the horn. Okay. Plus, she's a very annoying person in general, so she kept reaching through the crack between the seats and would poke me or tickle my back. I don't like to be touched. Every time I opened my snack, my older sister would poke me and ask what it was and if I could have some, and my mom and boyfriend kept trying to take my phone charger. I'm trying to take this with a grain of salt because she is 19. And I don't know if all of this is necessarily fully true, you know? I also had a stranger in my row that were kind of bothering. I couldn't deal with my family anymore, so I called a flight attendant and said the people around me have been harassing me nonstop since we got on the plane. My family denied it, but the people around me that aren't my family confirmed it, and I was moved to business because there weren't any open seats in economy. Well, sheesh, okay. Now my mom is pissed that I made her and the family look bad. A lot more people started complaining about them after I was moved, and her boyfriend called me an ungrateful bitch for using them for a free vacation. My dad and I split the cost of a hotel, and I offered to buy my own plane ticket, but they wouldn't let me. I'm thinking about moving in with my dad's family at this point, but I wanted to know if I was the asshole. They sound like family annoying. They do sound annoying. Boyfriend was watching his far-right podcasts with no headphones and on full volume. Families are annoying. Family vacations could be annoying. I do agree with all of that. I think that there's some things in here where they definitely go a little overboard. I don't think this is fake. I don't think this is fake. This is not exciting enough to be fake. I don't know. I think it may be a little bit like 19-year-old exaggeration in some of them. Like, they kept taking my phone charger and like, I keep being poked and tickled. I don't like to be touched. Like, I get that. But the fact that her boyfriend called her an ungrateful bitch for being moved and all of that, that's where it's just like, okay, out the window. You should probably move in with your dad. To be totally honest, 3 people, 1 air mattress, that's too much. They aren't respecting her boundaries on the flight, which is yikes. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, especially parents to children, of respecting boundaries. They're like, you're a child. Like, I'm your adult. I know what I'm doing. And, which isn't, I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying a lot of people do genuinely struggle with boundaries when it's a parent to a child. But boyfriend being a total fucking asshole, there's no grounds for that whatsoever. He is not their parent. He did not raise them. You are not her father. So for you to call her an ungrateful bitch because you used them for a free vacation, it doesn't sound like she wanted to fucking go. So no, I'm not using you for a free vacation. I wish I didn't have to fucking go. What? So moving in with a dad is maybe a good option, but I have no idea what your relationship with your father is or how much of this is exaggerated, right? So I can't really say you're 19. Obviously, you're not going to see this, but, you know, I don't want to influence somebody based on something that might be more exaggerated than not. Not the asshole, your family is horrific. Manners, and I'm glad to read that you complained during the flight back. Unless your father's family is somehow worse, move out of there and don't look back. But yeah, overall, I'm going to say not the asshole. It could be a little exaggerated because, you know, 19, but definitely not the asshole, and I would probably look into moving in with your dad. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker I will cover up my shoulders when he starts wearing shoes? My workplace doesn't have a dress code, so everyone dresses very casually. Today, I was wearing a top with thin straps with a long pair of pants and my shoulders were showing. One of my coworkers, Brian, was giving me angry looks all day, and when I finally asked him what was wrong, he told me that he thought better of me than to dress in barely any clothes to work. I thought better of you. I didn't know that that was your place, Brian. Very strange that you think that way about me, you fucking creep. At that moment, Brian was wearing pretty short shorts and was barefoot. He dressed like this the whole summer. The office is carpeted. He only puts on his slippers if he's going to the bathroom or to the kitchen. What? I'm so sorry. Wearing a tank top is not even on the same plane as going barefoot in the office. And for free? Brian, what? Oh my God, I told Brian that I will start covering up my shoulders when he starts wearing shoes to the office. If I have to watch his hairy toes at work, he can deal with the sight of my shoulders. Bitch, that's right. Bitch, that's right. Bitch, that's right. I'm so sorry. That's so fucked. That's so fucked. And Brian, are you her boss? I'm sorry. Brian, are you her boss? No? Maybe wearing a tank top to the workplace is inappropriate. But that's not your call, motherfucker. Fucking no sock, no shoe, walking around on the carpet having ass. Are you kidding me? That, of course, didn't help. He put on his headphones and didn't even look at my direction for the rest of the workday. Now wondering if I was in the wrong to say that. He is a coworker and I should thrive for good work relationships. But I felt insulted, so I kicked back at him. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. I think that he started something. And why the fuck is he so annoyed with you to the point that he is visibly annoyed and perturbed by you wearing a tank top? You're wearing a tank top. You have long pants on, so you're showing shoulders. Arms and shoulders, okay? Arms and shoulders does not justify the reaction of, I thought better of you than to come to work dressed in barely any clothes. Barely any clothes. I have more clothes on than you do, sir. If you are wearing short shorts and a shirt with no shoes and no socks, she is wearing and covering more of herself than you are. Oh my God, I cannot even with this. I will say though, what the fuck is this workplace where you can walk around barefoot? OP, you are not the asshole. This guy's a fucking prick. Creep. It sounds to me like he's one of those incel motherfuckers that was like, oh my God, OP, she's so cute. She's such like a sweet little cute girl. Look at how she's dressed all the time. Oh my God, she's like so modest. Oh my God, she showed her fucking shoulders. If she breathes, she's a thought. Am I the asshole for returning home after I found out that my husband booked first class for him and his friends while I got economy? Okay. My husband and I are in our 30s and we haven't been on a trip out of the country in years, while he goes every year with his best friend. His reason for going with him is because they both go to attend a sporting event. Okay. This year, my husband told me I can go with him and his friends since they were visiting a new destination. He paid for my ticket and everything since I am a Saham. Oh, stay-at-home mom and have no job. The kids were left with my mom. However, when I found out that he booked first class for himself and his friend while I got economy, I just couldn't hold my tongue. I confronted him about it, and at first he refused to discuss this. Then, when the argument got heated, he yelled, I paid for your ticket for fuck's sakes. Isn't that enough? Then kept on about how I should stop acting like I was royalty, and that if I came to think about it, even economy is just fine for me since I technically don't work anyway. I cried because of what he said, but decided to just not go altogether. He changed his tone and started begging me to go and what he planned, but I declined. I went to pick up the kids from my mom's house, and he came back 3 hours later huffing and puffing about what happened. His friend sent me a text calling me entitled and said that this is the reason why he didn't want my husband to take me with them, and I just proved the point. I did not respond, and I blocked him since he's gotten increasingly rude over the past few months. He, my husband, said I keep crying about being excluded, and this is what happens when he finally decides to include me. Am I the asshole for not settling for economy? By the way, he's perfectly capable of financing the trip. Y'all are gonna hate my take on this. Stay-at-home mom is a job. You are correct. What he said was totally out of line, and he acted like a fucking asshole. The fact that he's allowing his best friend to speak to his wife that way is also completely unacceptable and makes him an asshole. But a couple things that I'm curious about. Did his best friend pay for his own ticket, or are they saying that the husband paid for him? Because I don't think that he didn't pay for his best friend. So she's kind of making it seem like he did, but he didn't, because he's like, I paid for your ticket. He's like, he paid for him to go. But I don't think he paid for him. He just paid for his own seat. So he paid for himself to be in first class, but then paid for her to be in economy, which is very strange because, like, I would assume if I'm your partner that we're going to be sitting together, and if you are getting first class, maybe let me know. It said that he booked for himself and the friend. There's got to be more to this story. I wish there was an update. There's a lot of men that have very toxic relationships with their guy best friends that they've known since they were children. And the reason for that is they met in elementary school or high school, and you act a certain way when you meet someone. You act like a child. And even though you're growing up and the relationships around you are growing up, people really struggle to grow up their childhood relationships. So they keep acting like children even well into their 30s. They can have fully adult, normal relationships with other people, but that bond with that best friend never grew up. And it becomes very toxic. It also sounds to me like him and his friend bitch about her a lot, like high schoolers. Like, she's so entitled. Oh my God, she does this, she does that. The fact that he's like, you don't even have a job and I paid for your ticket for fuck's sakes, also really fucked up. Spouses need to be in the same class, no exception. I disagree. He's in first class, but telling her she's entitled. Yeah, another take is my mom's family is Mormon, and the men and like this and go on vacation without their wife because she isn't seen on the same level. Yes, that's fucked up. My parents used to make me and my brother travel economy when we traveled, and they've traveled first class. Yeah, I think that's fine. You can earn money being a stay-at-home mom. No, I mean, like, it depends on the situation, right? It depends on how old the kids are, how many kids there are. And if this is becoming a strain between you and your husband and he doesn't understand this, a lot of people struggle to see that stay-at-home moms are a job and that they are making money and the money that they're saving for childcare. And if that is something that somebody is really struggling to see, but they're good in every single other category, I would say at the end of the day, you know what? You get a job and mutually agree on childcare. But that's just me. I think the husband's a different person with his friend and doesn't want wife to see. No, 100%. Definitely. Like I said, those childhood relationships, the way that he acts with him is not on the same level of how he acts around her or as an adult in general. Honestly, what should she expect tagging along on a yearly boys trip for sports? Yes, I get that. But in this context, how I'm reading this is like, hey, I really want to go on a trip with you. And instead of him being like, yeah, let's go on a trip, he's like, well, you can come to the next boys trip then. It sounds to me like he would rather go on a trip with anybody else than with her, which screams to me that he no longer likes her. He may love her in a sense, you know, mother of his kids, whatever, but it doesn't sound like he wants to spend time with her or likes her as like a friend, you know, if that makes sense. I feel like you can love somebody but not like them anymore, which is very sad.